Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well today. Today I'm going to film like another following video. Done a few of these. I have done a Hung Van Gogh I followed a makeup tutorial of his. I followed a Patrick Starr tutorial, and today I'm going to film following DEMIE'S Vogue Beauty Secrets makeup. If you've watched a few of my videos, I'm very into 90s grunge. I've also done an Demi inspired makeup tutorial. I will leave that linked. But yeah, I saw this, it came up. I do watch the beauty secrets, but I had missed a few, so I was kind of going through them and I saw the Demi one, which I didn't watch when it first came out. So I watched it, loved the look. It did have winged eyeliner, which again, if you've watched a few of my videos where I have tried wing eyeliner, me and wing eyeliner just don't get along, but I'm gonna give it a go. I would love it if you can like and subscribe. It would mean an awful lot to me. And yeah, let's get into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave her, I think I'm going to have her here. Yes, I'm going to have her kind of here and kind of going along with me. And I picked out some stuff. Not everything is the same as what she uses, but it's similar. So yeah. I love Demi. I love her just original style. I think she's so cool. I love all her red carpet looks. For me, she smashes it. She starts with some skincare, but I'm just gonna skip through that because I have done my skincare.
So after I do my serum, I like to use the Dior Backstage Primer.
So she uses the Dior Backstage Primer, and from what I don't have that, but from what I've seen online, it looks very similar to this from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Brightening Youth Glow Anti-Aging Colour Correcting Glow Booster. So yeah, it looks very similar to this, so I'm going to kind of put this. She kind of just puts this on her hand. This is what it looks like. And she just kind of rubs it in everywhere. So that's what I'm going to do. The reason why I like to do these kind of videos is obviously everybody does their makeup so differently. And I think it's very easy to kind of stay in habits that you have. And there's definitely been some tips and tricks that I have picked up from following other people's tutorials. Curling my lashes. I never used to curl my lashes before I did the Hung Van Gogh one. If I want a really flawless look, I put on a bit more concealer than I used to. And again, I've kind of got that from following the Patrick. So yeah, I think it's fun to switch it up.
Foundation. I like to use a fluffy brush. I used to use a sponge, but I like the feel of a fluffy brush, and I like to kind of work it in my skin without it being too heavy.
Next she goes in with foundation. She uses the Dior Backstage foundation, which I don't have. And I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal True Match. And what she says is she goes in with a fluffy brush to do her foundation. I wouldn't necessarily do that, so let's see if we like how this looks.
So my mom, I grew up watching her do makeup. I remember she was working at MAC and she had to do a 10-minute editorial look. So she brought me, and I was 12 years old, and she did the craziest, most beautiful editorial look on me, and I loved it. I didn't want to take it off. She's really good at eyes, and she's all about blending. So my whole life she's always been blend, blend, blend. She doesn't really like harsh lines. To bring it down into my neck.
How do I feel about this? I mean, I don't feel like you could do this with a very like high coverage product, because you would get it literally in your hair, like you would kind of just get it everywhere. But for like a skin tint, it's a very like quick and easy application. I feel like it's not necessarily going like in deep into my skin, if that makes sense. I feel like with sponges you can really get it to like melt in. This is kind of sitting on top a tiny bit. It feels nice though. I do like big fluffy brushes. I mean, it doesn't look bad. My skin isn't great at the moment. I think I said this in my last video, my couple of last videos. My skin is just not behaving recently, and that is, I've never had to be one to really like think too much about my skin and my skincare, but maybe it's because I'm getting older, but I'm really struggling with it. But yeah, I don't mind this application, but I think, yeah, with a thin foundation this works. Not necessarily, I wouldn't use this with a like a really high coverage. I'm gonna go in and use my NARS concealer. I always bring it up and around the eye. And I have this is the mini one in Chantilly, and I'm just gonna draw kind of where she draws, just to have that base for my eyeshadow. And I bring it around my nose. Okay, so she only really kind of puts it around her eyes. She takes like a medium-ish brush to blend this in, but it looks kind of flat. Okay, mine's a bit bigger, and she kind of goes under her eyes. Mine is a bit lighter than hers. Hers is a bit more true to her skin colour. And she's patting in, and then she brings it up and kind of like over her eye, which I guess makes sense, and she brings it down here, which makes sense to me. I probably would apply more around my face, but God, the power of a brightening concealer and what it does to you. I don't really like this concealer too much, but everybody loves it and I keep retrying it. I'm very glad I only bought the smaller version. I keep wanting to love it, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's hydrating enough for me. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit more on this side because I feel like more was on the other side. Yeah, I feel like I really need a hydrating concealer. She hasn't spot concealed either, but her skin looks like flawless. Okay, so far so good. I'm happy with how this looks, and this is not too like dissimilar to kind of how I would do like my own. See, she does swoop a bit as well. I pat, but she's kind of swooping. I don't really like to do, but if Alexa swoops, I swoop. I like to bake under my eye while I do my eyeshadow. So I just use the sponge. This has a flat end. I love baking. I don't bake anywhere else on my face. I just, under the eye, I think it helps when you're doing your eyeshadow too. It just, if anything falls, it's really, you can take it off really easily. Also, I have really hollow eyes, and I just feel like this kind of like, I don't know, brightens me up. Okay, now we are baking. So I've got my Laura Mercier powder, and she goes in, yeah, with a sponge. So I've got my Cocoa Cosmetics, the like teardrop one, and she like fully bakes. Okay, so we are baking. She doesn't really set any of the rest of her face, which is a bit alien to me. Again, I would probably go in and kind of set the rest of my face, as well as, I don't really bake, I set under my eyes with loose powder. So next for eyeshadow, she goes in with, I'm gonna use just like a little bit of a creamy nude, like a cream, and I like to tap it into the eye. So So I've got my Makeup Revolution palette and I'm going to go in with Sophisticated. It's a bit yellow, but... And she's like tapping it all over. Even though we brought our concealer up over the eyes, my eyes are so veiny, I would normally go in with some sort of primer. I also get quite oily eyelids. Saying that I have quite dry skin, my nose and eyelids get really oily, where everything else doesn't. So I don't know why those places, otherwise the eyeshadow doesn't stay.
I'm gonna go into my crease with a slightly darker color, and I'm gonna take this color here and work in my crease.
She goes for like a warm brown, and she puts this through the crease, and she's got lovely eyelid space, no hooded eyes. I have no eyelid space and hooded eyes. It will end up looking a bit different, but we move.
And I'll go in after this with a different brush and blend out even more.
And she kind of just goes, I'm gonna go, I've got this colour here called Contemporary. And I'm gonna take this through my crease. Hers looks a bit darker than mine, so I might go in with a slightly darker brown. If you've got this palette, I'm gonna switch to Desire, which is a more of a brown. Yeah, that's what I wanted. And she says she spends a lot of time blending, because her mum told her to like blend her makeup, and that's one of the keys, I think, to getting like a flawless look, is just sometimes blending for like minutes. If you watched my autumn video, I spoke a lot in there about how actually during like this time of year I actually really like warm tone eyes and warmer tone makeup. I don't know why, but in the summer or spring, it's just not for me. So I'm actually enjoying doing these warmer tones.
I go in with a little bit of this Pat McGrath over the Dior. I know 90s is always like just matte, but I've been really into all of the glittery eyeshadows right now. So this one has a little bit of brown and gold.
Okay, I'm happy with that. For her it took like 0.5 seconds. For me it took a little longer.
Okay, after I do all that, I like to go back in and do my lid. I'm still blending because I don't want my mom to yell at me. So I do feel like she's gone a bit higher through here, so I'm just making this a bit taller. And then she says she goes back in with like a cool colour on her lid, and I like to do this because I feel like 90s were all about that kind of like light lid, like it's quite smoky, but yeah. I'm gonna pop a little bit more of this Pat McGrath glitter on the lid.
So I'm going to use my VOUGE palette, and I'm going to take the highlighter, and I'm just going to kind of run that on the lid.
Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of highlight under the brow. I'm gonna take a little bit of that and put it right under the eyebrow.
This is actually a really pretty eye. I'm enjoying this. She next goes in with the highlight under her eye, so I'm going to again just go back in with that VOUGE highlighter. This is from the Dimensions palette, and run that underneath her brow bone. Highlighter is just something I don't use anymore, so when other people use it, I'm like, oh yeah, that is a product that people still use. I don't mind it when I do use it, so I don't know why I don't use it more.
So I'm gonna come back to the eyeshadow, but I want to start the wing. So I like to use this Pat McGrath pen, and I kind of just, I start at on the outer corner of my eye. I like a really like pointed. I don't like it like too curled up too. I don't know. It's kind of just. I've done it. I just follow my eye here, but it needs to be really pointy. So I kind of just start like that.
Okay, here we are at the scariest part. Eyeliner. Liquid eyeliner. It's literally traumatizing for me. I think it's because of my hooded eyes. I always just hate how it looks. But I can't skip a step. So I've got the Feline Flick eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury. And she says she doesn't go too curled. She says, let me come in a bit closer. She says she doesn't go too curled. She says she kind of follows her underline out. Okay, that actually went surprisingly well. I am just one of these people that will do it and then trying to keep just making it, like tweaking with it, and it ends up massive. And then trying to do it on the other eye. Again, traumatizing. Like, that looks cute, but like, I can't just leave it like that. I've got to join it. Okay, now I've made it really curly. Okay, now I've ruined it. See? I've literally ruined that. Oh, God. I mean, it's not the worst eyeliner, but it's definitely 3 times bigger than what I originally drew on. Okay, just gonna have to do.
And then I always get a Q-tip and I just bring it along here. I bring the inner corners in to give me that like fierce jaguar look.
Okay, so now she grabs a Q-tip / cotton bud, which I have here, and then she like runs it under. Okay, it does make it very like sharp. Okay, I do like that step. If I was a liner girl, I would enjoy that. She does come like all the way round her eye. Again, I don't really like to do this because it closes off my eye shape. So she goes all the way. And then she goes to like elongate the eye. Okay, see, if I could just boom and it went onto this eye, I might do liner more. But how am I gonna do that on this eye? Pray for me. Right, I'm gonna attempt to replicate this. I'm just gonna speed through. Okay, definitely not my worst, but not the best. But they semi-match. I feel like they give the like look, and we're just gonna have to go with it. I do feel like her eyeshadow is more dramatic, so I am just going to quickly just add in even more. I feel like I need a smaller brush. Even more darkness into that. Those are like really dark and smoky. She goes in with a little bit of blush, and she goes on to say she hated blush. Has she dusted away her... Okay, she now has dusted away her bake. So I'm going to do that. I mean, it does give you the most snatched under eye baking. Like, I look like snatched. Yeah, she goes in with blush.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of blush. I used to hate blush because my mom was so obsessed with blush. And she would put so much blush on me, and I would always say no blush, like before she would do my makeup, and now I love blush. And she would always say smile.
She like smiles, and she does it like on her cheeks. I don't mind this, but I feel very bizarre because I have no cream products. I don't mind like a rosy flush. It's just, I don't know, this feels a bit off.
I bring it up a little bit into the hairline.
She goes in like that first, and then she kind of brings it up. So she's got like a whole like flush of pink. I feel like everything's a bit lower down than what I would normally do. I keep my blush and like my cream products quite high.
So I like to use this Dior contour palette. So I'm gonna do a little bit of contour when I bring it up into the cheek.
Next she goes in with like a contour palette. Again, it's the Dior one. She doesn't use any cream products, like not even at this stage. My Charlotte Tilbury contour, I've hit pan on this, and she goes really low. Again, I don't know whether I'm gonna enjoy. So she actually goes under with this, like right under. I mean, I guess this is probably where contour is meant to go, because it's meant to accentuate your cheekbone, and then she kind of brings it up a tiny bit. I mean, I'm not mad. It's just such a different placing to kind of where I would put it. Yeah, I just feel like everything is low. Like normally all of this is kind of here for me, and at the moment it's like here.
So now that I've done my contour, I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of bronzer. I just like to lightly dust. I've
got my Rimmel and yeah, like a fluffy brush, and she just kind of goes over everything. I mean, everything is nice and blended, and I guess because it is kind of like a 90s look, everything is very matte, which I quite like. There's something about an all matte look. Okay, I do feel like I look like snatched, and it is, I feel like my skin looks good.
I'm gonna do a little bit of this Dior highlighter. I'm gonna blend these two. That's cute.
She goes in with highlighter on her cheeks, which is again not something I do, but we shall do it. And again, just with my VOUGE. It's been great working with Cynthia. I think like she does do her Cupid's bow.
So I'm gonna go in, I'm huge, I don't ever not wear lip liner. So I'm gonna go in with this Dior lip liner, and sometimes I even layer lip liners, which I think I might do today. Now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a brown.
says she layers her lip liner, which I think is cool. I think it makes sense. So she goes in with kind of like just a normal brown. This is the NYX Line Loud in Gold Crusher. Normally I kind of go across my Cupid's bow and like I don't accentuate it just because I think that's a bit more flattering. But she's got quite a defined Cupid's bow, so I'm gonna like accentuate it a tiny bit. And then next she goes in with a darker lip liner. And she goes basically just over it. This is VOUGE in Bark. Quite like this idea of layering the lip liners. I feel like you can really tailor the tone. Normally I wouldn't layer my lip liner, I'd layer my lip products, but yeah, I like this. Okay.
Now I'm going in with a light nude. Okay, so now.
So she goes in with a very light lip. So I've got the NYX Soft Matte Cream in Cairo. I'm just filling in that centre with a lighter nude. This is a very 90s lip.
Now that I've done the nude lipstick, I'm going to go in with a little bit of a brown gloss.
And then she goes in with like a brown gloss. It's very weird that I feel like my eyes aren't finished because we haven't actually got mascara on. She does go back to them in a bit, but lips are always like the last thing that I do. And yeah, she goes in with the brown gloss, and then she goes in, and that was, sorry, the Beauty Pie Wonder Gloss. And she goes in with another pink gloss, so I've got the e.l.f. lip lacquer, and then like a pinkier one over the top. Again, I don't think I've ever layered my lip gloss, but
I'm layering another gloss on top of that.
Kind of
makes your sense. Lip maximizer, just to give it a little something in the center. I think, oh, my brows. I can't forget my brows. But I just like to do brow gel. Like, I can't go anywhere without my brow gel. And I like to brush them up and out.
She now goes back to her brows, and I actually did tint mine the other day, so they're actually quite nice and dark. So she just uses brow gel, and I think she has the 24-hour brow setter. I think that's what she's using, so she just sets them. Mine are a bit fluffier than hers naturally, like hers are more like pointed, but so yeah, so she goes like up and out.
Mascara. I recently got eyelash extensions, and you're not supposed to put mascara, but I have to. I'm addicted to mascara.
She goes in with mascara. I've got the Sky High. She has lash extensions, so I'm gonna cheat. It's the only thing I'm gonna cheat on. Because she's got lash extensions, I'm actually going to curl my lashes, because technically she's got an already better base than I do. And I love this mascara, but only when I curl my lashes. I thought at one point when I first watched it that she wasn't going to go back to her lashes. But this mascara is so good, and I was sleeping on it for so long. I mean, it does give me a different style of lash to sometimes. I prefer like a thick lash, like a clumpy lash. But there are some looks where you want kind of that kind of like lengthening. And she does do the bottom one too. What's funny is she's not put any eye makeup underneath her eye. And for me, I love like a dark smoky under eye. Do have to say that my skin looks actually really nice. Looks really fresh. So maybe the foundation technique with the fluffier brush actually is something I need to try again.
I always do this and fan my lashes and everybody always laughs at me.
She says I don't even know how I'm gonna do this, like blows up at her eyelashes and I don't even think I'm like hitting myself in the eye. I mean, this just makes me look silly.
I think the look is done. So now I'm just gonna set it with that hydrating mist just to kind of let it all get into the skin. It smells good. This is my final look. Thank you for watching.
Then she says the look is done and she goes in with like a hydration mist. I have the MAC Fix Plus in the lavender smell. This is unreal. And yeah, I wouldn't say this is like a setting spray. I'd say this is like a hydrating spray. Which I guess is nice when you've got all those like powder products. Okay, here we have the final look. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. Nothing was too crazy from how I kind of normally do my makeup, so I don't feel like there was anything super different. A lot of the application was a little different, but I'm going to try the fluffy brush for foundation again because I do think my skin looks nice. And I really do like all the powder products. Like, I think cream products have become such like a thing that we feel like we need cream and powder, but for most of my like time I've been wearing makeup, cream products weren't a thing. So yeah, and actually for saying that I'm not an eyeliner girl, I think the eyes actually turned out really nice. And again, the shape, when I fully close my eyes, you like lose all of the like definition. But yeah, lip combo, I do think my skin looks great. Yeah, super happy. Thank you so much for watching and coming along on this little journey with me. Yeah, really enjoyed this, really happy with the outcome. So yeah, I will hopefully see you again really soon.